When we got to this point where we could incorporate ROTC in the girls softball field, we'll bring the next design to the table. From the very first design, the classrooms portions were agreed upon by the federal judge, and we're able to move forward. However, where we had the basketball gymnasium, we ran into some utility issues and mechanical issues and had to move the facility to the north side of the building. Subsequently, with that being the case, then we had to move the girls softball field closer to the field department. It did give us an opportunity to have a great portion to play with up underneath the bleachers on the north side of the basketball court, which gave us an opportunity to not renovate ROTC because that was a judge's order, but to actually give them a brand new space for ROTC. What was most important to us, and we just recently getting the things that you guys seen, was that we were able to visit with Lieutenant Colonel Brown and also the head basketball coach and athletic director and Mr. Cooper, and provide them a copy of the layout so that they can mark up, ask questions, get familiar with it so that tonight it wouldn't be just a blind copy type meeting. So those young folks will get a chance to be able to talk about the things they observed, the things they like to see changed. But nevertheless, everything that you see here as of yesterday is the schematics that we got to move forward with. All right. So I'll yield to Brad for a second. And then also, before talking about that, when we moved the gym and we finally got the CMs involved, the total package for the site was $34 million, as we had it laid and designed then. And so, of course, our budget is 19.5, so we have to get somewhere close to that budget. So by moving the gym and making some slight tweaks and changes, gives us an opportunity to get closer to that 19.5. We're thinking that somewhere around 28 million is where we're kind of sit right now. And once we talk about this being kind of typically the second design, we'll flush this out and have the final design, which we'll bring back to you guys and say, this is it. That's the feedback from all shareholders and everyone that's been involved. All right. So I'll bring up Brad Chilcote now, the Chief Architect.
Thank you. I'm Brad Chilcote, Deputy Dean of the Architects. Seen most of y'all before, glad to have you here. We have an overall site plan and then a conceptual rendering of the entry to the gymnasium on the north side of the building. Then we have floor plans and larger site plans for the softball for y'all to walk around. Just a quick review. This is Dixon Road down here. This is the administration building. This is the Lynn Mills High School, the one we're currently occupying. In the dark gray, this light gray is the 10 classroom addition. It's on at the end of the east wing, ties into it through the circulation pattern, so that it's a direct connection to the academic spaces. And up here is the new arena with gymnasium, locker rooms, team meeting rooms, connected with a corridor to weight rooms, athletic director's office, classrooms. And on the north side is the ROTC space where they have their 3 classrooms, offices, very secure storage, and a assembly drill space. And they also have access to a paved area outside for outside activities, drills, and whatnot. They're also on the circuit road in case they want to use that for drills, and then right across the student bridge is to the track where they will have access for that for any type of physical activity they want to do. Down here where the old sewage plant was, that's been cleared, dried out, compacted. Proposing the softball field goes here with dugouts, storage, new bleachers, very similar to the baseball field. It's over here by the indoor practice facility. Access it will be through the ticket booth that we built, coming down a sidewalk and into it. So it'll be secure through the ticket booth. We're also going to construct a new concession stand and toilet facility, which will be used for the visitors for football and for the softball, and it can be used by baseball, so that when they have an activity, they don't have to come up to the indoor and spread out the volunteers on site. They can all be confined into one area. Working with Kinco, the idea would be that, you know, construction sites would come in from the side, let schools still function during construction, and then move on to the softball field. That's a quick overview of the project.
All right. And so for your consumption, for those of you who would like to take a few minutes, we have basically two sets of the plans laid out around the room for your consideration. If you want to pass them around or we take 5 minutes and let you walk around and take a look at them. Then we'll come back together as one unit and we'll field questions and provide some answers for you. Yes, ma'am.
May we ask questions before we look?
Yes, ma'am.
Based upon what he just said?
Yes, ma'am.
So I understood, Mr. Chilcote, the section regarding the gym addition, I heard you say that there would be classrooms in that area?
Yes, ma'am.
I made a notation, how many classrooms?
There were two.
We're proposing 2 on this link, and then there are spaces back here that there's a room designated team meeting. How it gets used by the school is up to the administration.
Okay, team meeting, so 1 or 2 classes within?
Well, you can technically, you got the 2 that's along the hallway corridor.
Yes, I'm trying to I'm counting, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
and then
count.
you got 5, well, you got 3 more with ROTC on the ROTC side.
Yeah, I'm talking separate from ROTC.
Yeah, it's just the 2 that's,
Then the 2?
yes, ma'am. Just
Oh,
2.
all right,
classrooms,
so
and
what was that I heard about the team meeting? Room?
There's a room that's designated as a team meeting room at this point. How it gets used is,
Okay, so there's a team meeting, okay.
yes, ma'am.
I wanted to ask a question over here to the right at the top. I think it's from, well, the ROTC. You mentioned right in there, to the right, just a little smidgen. You mentioned there was 3 classrooms, but off to the right, you call that something, what is that long kind of vertical?
Well, this is a concrete driveway,
You said it's what?
concrete driveway. So
Okay.
the idea is if ROTC wants to do some drills outside and physical activity, they would have a paved area right off their space that they could go out to and have activities out there.
So is all of this one level?
Well, this is the lower level of the gymnasium, of the arena. The bleachers will go up at an angle and be on the second level, much like a second floor here. And so there'll be like a donut of a concourse or walking space upstairs. And then you'll have the arena and the basketball court will be on the lower level. And that's where all the locker rooms and classrooms will be. So the public will come in and go up, but all the students and athletes and PE students and who are using the school, who are using the space will be on the lower level for security reasons.
Okay, coming back to the building, over here to the east, I think you said. How many classrooms?
Thank you.
10 classrooms.
That was my question, thank you.
Okay,
10 classrooms.
so is that a single level as well?
No, ma'am, this is 2-level space. Just like the building.
Okay, 2 level space.
Yes, ma'am. So you come down the corridor, if you went down towards the east, you go what are now exit doors, that'll open into the new space, and it'll be 2-level.
Going, yeah, I guess maybe.
Oh, that's the building.
Yes, ma'am.
You're saying 10 classrooms, but some of those spaces are larger, more open concept spaces, correct?
Yes. So there's a mixture of enclosed traditional spaces, there's a traditional science lab, and then some more open, flexible, collaborative spaces, much like they're getting built around the state.
Thank you.
So I guess I'm not understanding, so please explain what that means. Devin has confused me now. So you initially said 10 classrooms,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
now I'm hearing that it's gonna be some type of collaborative spaces.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
would you explain to the public what we're talking about when we talk about collaborative spaces then? Because.
I'm not a teacher, but what, in some project-based, self-paced, academic programs, they like to spread out and work on projects. Mr. Clayton can probably explain it better than I can, but you need more space to do that, and it hinders that collaborative use when you're stuck within 4 walls and a ceiling at 900 square feet. This allows it to be a flexible space. They can have 2 classrooms at one time. They can bring in 3 or 4 at one time and have a guest lecturer. They can bring in large tables like this and do a seminar. They can do individual learning or break off into groups like we have with the monitors here. So it's just more flexible space.
So the flexible space is you're calling it 10 classrooms,
It
but
is.
is it actually 10 classrooms?
Yes, ma'am.
Or is it something else?
No, it's classrooms.
All right, then, so I'm just trying to get clarification because Devin had you say something different. So I want to be sure that we're talking about 10 additional classrooms
Yes, ma'am.
that are gonna be added on this end.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
I have another question. In coming into the building, I've heard a couple of teachers say there's been some things missing. My question is, just say there's an outlet in a room, there's 20 in a computer room, and there's supposed to be 25 outlets, but there's 24. Will Principal Clayton and the admin be able to say, these are things that were missed, and are those things a part of the 28 million? Or is that just the amount?
Retrofitting what transpired before this bill was not part of the scope. The part of the scope were 4 phases that we presented to the judge, which were 10 technologically sound classrooms, the 2,200 seat arena, the revamp of ROTC, and a girls softball field. Those were the 4 pieces that the judge approved and signed off on. The other aspects of what you just talked about, what may have from a design standpoint prior to my arrival and Dr. McNulty's arrival, we're not adjusting that at this particular point in time. We're dealing with the new.
Okay, that's clear, thank you.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
may I just say this, I want to follow up and say to the persons that are present here, my concern about the number of classrooms has to do with, I don't know if you all are aware, but teachers in this building share classrooms, and they should not be sharing a classroom. So the additional classroom space here that's being added will allow teachers to have space to carry on in their classrooms. So that is my concern, and I wanted to ensure that that takes place, that teachers will not be sharing classrooms and not having a place to go and having their books and everything that they're doing, moving on a cart, going from space to space, going in the library, having a classroom, or going to the auditorium, having a classroom and trying to conduct instruction. So the idea is to make sure that teachers have a place that they can stay and know that they can instruct students. So I just wanted it to be clear that that is my concern. And what I've heard Mr. Chilcote say, that sounds like that's gonna be addressed, because it's my understanding that there are at least 9 or 10 teachers that are sharing classrooms. So with that being said, thank you very much.
Other questions before we kind of take a 5-minute pause in the action to give everyone a chance to physically put their hands on these documents and take a look at it. All right, so let's take 5 and let you guys just take a quick look and make notes of whatever you like to make notes of, and then we'll reassemble and come back together.
He needs some offices too.
Well, he needs
Talking about all these
his
places.
nucleus is here.
Yep.
For operations for basketball. Well, that was
I understand.
yeah, that was a thought. But what he's requesting is that space transitions to here.
And these offices become,
Yeah, but I want you to repeat what you just said, so Brad
Yeah, I
hears
catch
every
that. I'm
detail.
sorry.
Like on game day,
yeah.
it's our office is kind of our brain
Yes,
center.
sir.
So we're sitting in there doing film.
Got you.
We're talking to people. Referees meet us here, and so if this is because there's no office in the gym for us. So if we're over here and everything's going on over here, we're so disconnected that we would have to transition. We probably would have to find a room and move everything over here on game day, so that
We have a couple. I'm not saying this is good. We have a couple. We do have a referee room and some others. We could create some office, but you're saying something. You're saying you need more than that, and I understand.
And then with everything being here, we're kind of disconnected from on game. You know, what we did is we sat out. We said, okay, it's game day.
What are we doing?
And so
What are we
What are
doing?
we doing?
Where are we?
And so we walked it and said, man, if I gotta go over here, then I gotta go back to the office because we done left the book over here. I'm gonna have to run.
So where's PE? Where's PE
to?
going to be held?
PE will be held probably in the auxiliary
So
gym.
are these going to stay in
And
the
so
PE locker room?
we'll use these for PE locker room and cheer and dance. Because they always cry about we don't have no space.
They just articulate their concern.
Excuse me, I forgot what it said again.
Yes, sir.
And don't mansplain.
And one of the things that we was talking about also, we was discussing looking at a heavy duty laundry facility that can be shared between us and these guys. We can put that in the middle, so
And that way it'll be kind of in the middle of both
of us.
And then that way, if it's in here somewhere, they can use it, we can use it.
This next round, as we develop this, we're gonna need to work real close because the safety, the
Oh, yeah.
day-to-day,
Yeah.
the public,
Yeah.
you know, the
But
one.
we're here now, right?
Right,
So
yes.
we did the hierarchy piece, now we're
Yes.
trying to work out, flush out. the
And
pieces.
for us, it's real simple because we can come use the existing hallways into here. It's just us. We consolidate it. Good. If as long as we can put this here.
Let me ask this question.
No, my bad.
Okay,
Hallway here.
yeah, like the others get in here, general public. I'm talking about like,
Students.
yeah,
Well, that's up. So here's something to think about. You have exit doors from the existing gyms. That hallway's going to stay because if you have an event here and there's an event that they have to get out with fire, they're going to go down
Right,
that
of course.
hallway and get out.
Yeah.
what about to come into our area?
They won't be able to
Right
come. If the hallways there, you still gonna have doors for closing and all that. So we're still because we're gonna be this way.
You can't keep students from going out that door.
Right.
That's an now.
So they can come into the hall.
But not to come into our area.
Right.
Because I'm talking about have that locked, but they don't come into our area.
Well, it's an egress door. But we'll have to look at that. But it's a fire egress. You could. I don't want to get too technical. Not that y'all can
I understand
but I
what
could be.
you're
He knows I could be here 10 minutes talking about it. You can put a door that doesn't immediately open when you push the bar and it sets off an alarm, and then you would know someone's trying to get in.
Egress door.
Yeah.
The exit.
So if a building catches fire, you
You gotta get out of
the
here.
building. You gotta get out.
Yes.
But they can't come in.
No, they can't come in. Once the doors are closed, they can't
We
come
can
in.
put another set of doors. That means they can only go outside. We can come up with that. Okay. We'll need the massages. Okay.
Okay.
But you,
Because
what I'm
we got a
hearing
lot
is.
of we got a lot of things that people don't. Just like they got stuff. People don't need to be down there taking around. We got things we don't want them taking around with our stuff
Let me
as
ask
well.
this question. Did I hear you say this space you would just use the gym?
No. Everything is equal right here. We want it equal
Slide it
right
over
there.
And then, because see, we're
Trying.
yeah. So basically, just where their area is, where we need to be.
Right.
Just take this area
And put it there.
I don't know the correct term.
Now,
I understand what
the
you're
hardship may be because one of the reasons we had to flip this the way we did in the beginning was because of all of the underground utilities. So the mechanical.
They're like
pieces-
right here in this area.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then we may have enough.
But we
Well, here's what I'm saying. That space is equal to those two.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
That room is equal to two of those.
Yep.
This is equal to that.
Yep.
You have-
So it's almost a one-to-one.
We'll have that as well.
Yeah, that's this.
Where the 3 classrooms going to be. I want to see it when
Oh, I'm not.
it's laid out.
It's
Yeah.
He's got it.
Noel. I want to draw. I want you to see it.
Okay.
Okay. We just, our thinking was,
I like
Oh, yeah,
that.
yeah,
I like
we do.
that.
We do.
But I looked at
when we all
way
sit,
down
when
here.
we sat down and talked about it, like,
Yeah,
man, that's,
I get what you're saying because this is your operation center right here, and you're
And
way
then
down
we're way
here.
over here. So on a game day, we're over here.
Right.
Passing
I got
out
it.
uniforms and
I
all
got
that
it.
kind of stuff.
And
Then
then
we
you
got to
may-
go all
you
the
were
way
going to
over
have the
here.
same issue even if we put over here. You were gonna have it wrong. We had just always thought that people driving by saw the ROTC thing, man, these guys take it seriously. But we can make that work.
That's fine unless you.
Conceptually, I think we can make that work.
okay.
So we'll. Those are your plans. So you mark them up as we go. And so from start to finish, you're able to walk it as we walk through.
Hello, everyone. I'm Valerie Pam. I am new to Mills. I'm a retired teacher, have been, and I've been to several of these particular meetings across the city of Little Rock, especially in education and new buildings. I am just really excited about the staff and how they're really working together in such a space that's been so tight, but they're really working together to make it fit. My question to you, I probably shouldn't be asking this, but I just want to ask. What do you see as some of the concerns? We haven't really heard any concerns. Do you foresee any? Are you pretty comfortable with the plans?
As far as what we're designing.
Yes.
So my biggest thing
In the
is,
classroom space.
as far as the existing classroom space or the soon-to-be built
The
classroom.
soon-to-be.
So I think when this building was initially built, I think the classroom spaces came in at 850 or 855 a square foot. I think the design on the classroom. Per classroom.
Yeah, 850 square feet per classroom.
Per classroom, right? And in this particular setup, there are at least 9. So you've got 50 more square feet per classroom, so we're giving more space to accommodate the needs of the technologically sound environment for the driven programs or whatever else that Mr. Clayton can envision for that space. So we really wanted, and then prior to that, just so you guys were fully aware, I took a bus of building principals that are having expansions or some construction on the campus, and we drove to Northwest Arkansas and took a tour of probably 4 or 5 buildings from Alma, Arkansas, all the way up to Bentonville to look at the new collaborative spaces. Don Tyson building that Brad and his team built. There was a building in Springdale, there's a couple other ones that we visited. The information we're bringing back is the information that's going into these concepts to give our kids a fighting chance.
Last thing, I'm really excited about the softball and baseball field.
Yes, sir.
My grandson actually went to Jochi to actually play for the softball, for his baseball team, so I'm so excited that we're doing competition, so
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Ladies.
I'm Mabel Bynum from that town.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a patron of Harris.
Yes, ma'am.
And we heard about this, so we thought we'd just come and see how it runs, because we're expecting you to come back. We talked last time in April, we were there to get the material.
I got something in my truck for you.
Yes, sir, and I expected that real soon, because I, like my friend Paul, Paul doesn't know me, I know him. But, we want that certainly we're prepared and know how things run. And we've been really concerned about that tour that you promised us.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what, we're just here observing.
Roger
They can ask for stuff too.
that. Ms. Farmer.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Andrea Farmer, and I am a proud graduate of Mills University Studies. At the time, it was just Wilbur D. Mills. Was implanted into this school district because my mother actually worked for the school district. But I am a product of this area and this school feeder pattern. And the pride that I have for what is the potential of Mills High School is just limitless. I mean, went to school with Curtis. We have some other schoolmates here. Terry, my husband Daryl's a graduate of here as well. Evan. So there's a lot of pride here, and to see, you know, I'm vested here because not only did I attend, but I wanted my children to be here. I have 2 that have already graduated, and now I have my last one that is a junior here. And I take pride in the teachers that are here. They have concern for our children. And I'm just glad that they finally get a chance to have the space that they need to do what they need to do to make sure that our children are successful. I not only graduated from this school, but I also work for this district. And I give my heart and soul to this district. And I just want to make sure that the students here in this area get the same opportunity as those in other areas. And I haven't been able to be at all the meetings because usually I'm working. But Farmer is definitely here to support and to make sure he brings back and tells us what's going on. But just want you to know whatever it is that we can do as a family unit, we're here to support Mills High School to the end.
Yes, ma'am. Pastor Farmer. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to go with Pastor Farmer and then you.
Okay, because I heard them say we here, but I'm here also.
Yes,
They say we. And I'm the president of Macomb Concerned Citizens.
Yes, ma'am.
And, no, I don't have to say my name. And, I just want to say I'm here because I believe Harris is going to be on the list too. And you all going to be living in our community also.
That's
Am I
correct.
correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and I want to make sure that we get the message out to our community so the community can come out and have an input in also.
Yes, ma'am.
And, I know know that man, where's him not here?
Oh, I'm not there, I'm back here.
Okay, so, I'm just here to, make sure it's up there and make sure that our tax dollars get what we pay for.
Absolutely. Pastor Fong.
Well, I've been here, I've been a part of this community my whole life. We're vested here. I've left, and I can't see myself working in any other district other than Pulaski County, even though I'm not in the county now. I'm still a part of the county. So, I'm excited about this. We've been pushing this in the community as well. But the thing that I'm excited about, that I tell the kids, is too much is given, much is required. So now that we have it, we got to do something with it. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yes, sir. I'll let these two young folks introduce themselves. We'll start with Mr. Bates.
Hi, I'm Devin Bates. I'm an attorney here on behalf of Pulaski County Special School District. It's an honor to represent the district and help them get through and shepherd through the federal court desegregation process. And so it's been a great honor to be a part of this process and work with the administration and the architects on this. Of course, part of what this is all about is making up the inequity between Robinson and Mills. That's why we're here doing this. It's still part of the desegregation process. But I do want to just commend the administration and the architects for not only just trying to shore up the inequity between Robinson and Mills, but also look even beyond that, to go above and beyond and look at places like Northwest Arkansas to make sure that the students are getting what they deserve. And certainly, I just want to also add that it's been a lot of conversations over the years, been a part of many of these conversations in the rooms, and I also just want to commend the administration for always talking about the students and what the students' needs are, and that's always front and center. So it's an honor to be a part of that process and to represent the district.
Thank you. And Ms. Springer, who was going to finance all this.
Oh, please. I wish I could. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joy Springer. I am part of the interveners. You initially heard about the Joshua interveners. Ms. Bynum, I'm sure you're aware, we're now called the McClendon interveners over time. So we're here to make sure after 40 years that the inequities that are in the schools within Pulaski County are resolved. We're down now to facilities, and as Mr. Bates has already indicated, it has to do with the facilities that are west as compared to those that are located in the south quadrant of Pulaski County. So we're here to ensure that they do what they promised that they would do after 40 years. So I'm here to monitor, to ensure, and I've already told you one of my concerns had to do with classroom space and teachers. And I had one of the instructors here, one of the staff person here, tell me that classroom space is a barrier to ensuring education of children here. So hopefully, by including additional classrooms in this space, that will hopefully address some of the concerns. I don't know if you all saw the scores in the paper this past weekend with respect to achievement. I mean, it's really bad. Our children cannot read. Not only those that look like me, but those within the state of Arkansas. So what do you gather from that? We're in a pretty bad shape. So it's even worse because teachers here in this building don't have any place to ensure that there's instruction taking place. So hopefully I will be here as long as the Lord allows me to be here to ensure that the district does what it's promised it would do. So thank you all for being here this evening, and I look forward to making sure that these plans that they've talked about this evening are carried out. So thank you all for coming.
We're going to pass the plate around for Sister Springer. Sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Felicia Johnson, and I am a part of the team here at Mills High School, but I am also a product of this area. Recently back home after 31 years, back here. Extremely excited about the things that's taking place at Mills High School, but I'm also ecstatic about what's about to take place at College Station Elementary School because I'm a product of that school. So I'm really excited about everything that's happening as far as construction is concerned within Pulaski County, not just as an educator, but also as a product of this district as well.
Ms. Clay.
Good evening, Dwayne Clayton, building principal. I've been on Dixon Road for 20 years. 20 years. My children grew up here. I went out west for 1 year. I really didn't even apply here. I got called here.
There you go.
And I've seen a lot. We have not been this collaborative since the arrival of this new administration. I've been here 20 years. And going in with this, I've heard a lot over those 20 years about what the court said that we said we would do. And a lot of folk that even worked in this district didn't even know what we said we would do. And so we have to be very mindful of what we said we would do. Because oftentimes people can't believe what we say because of what we do. But I'm very excited because I know that I don't show up to a place to spend the time I spend to haphazardly and do anything in vain. So I'm excited for our young people, I'm excited for staff. These people didn't come back, they stayed here. Half these folks been here all day. So I'm excited for that.
My name is Terry Taylor, and I'm here just as a member of the community because I was mad a long time when Mill's money got stolen. I'm gonna put that out there. I was mad a long time. So I'm just excited to see what's happening for our children in this area. And I'm gonna be here till it's finished.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Evan Forte. I graduated from Mills in 2014, and now I have the pleasure of serving the same district that I matriculated through as a good level administrator. And I'm kind of like Coach Clay. In fact, I actually played with Coach Clay. Been in this community for a long time. My entire family has. It means a lot. It means a lot. And I appreciate the intentionality that has been being displayed throughout this process. Because I can tell by these plans and I can tell by the dialogue that it's not just a matter of doing what Judge Marshall said we should do, but doing what's best for kids. And I think that that's really important. I think that the classrooms, they reflect the collegial model that Mills has had for a long time. I think it's very reflective of what a college campus is gonna be like. I mean, this is Mills University State High School, so that's how it looks. Excited for the high school basketball coaches over there. They finally get to coach in an arena that seats enough people that want to come and watch the games, but due to space concerns, that may be a hindrance. And I think that all of the plans, just in totality, they reflect the optimistic view that Dr. McNulty and the rest of his cabinet wanted to establish by making Mills a 5A school, not just in basketball, or not just in football, but in basketball. But overall, I appreciate the process because, granted, of course, us old heads, we look and be like, man, we wish we had this, but I mean, yeah.
What do we have, a 10 building?
Yeah. I mean, I went to give y'all a perspective. I went to high school over there, and I went to junior high, actually, right where I'm standing. So I've been here a while, I've been engaged for a while, and just excited to see everything carried out. And again, as y'all move through this process, just continue to keep in mind what's best for the kids and not just doing what Judge Marshall said that y'all should do. So I appreciate that.
Our esteemed board member, Mr. Stephen White. Coach.
I'm Michael Flowers. I coach basketball and softball, so I'm excited about finally having a softball field. One question I have about the concession stand, does it have a restroom?
Yes, sir, it will be, of course, we're not that deep in the details, but there'll be restrooms there and a concession stand. Now, there'll be men's and women's, and just taking general use.
And will be lights?
On the field, we're planning for lights on the softball field. Dugout, it'll be AC.
It'll be appropriate scale, similar to the baseball field. Bleachers, dugout, storage, lights, fences.
That's right, get them on record.
But yeah, what I'm excited about, the transparency that's going on, and right now we have about 20 girls that's been practicing since the school started. And we have collaborated with the middle school last year, and a lot of those girls play softball on the travel team and whatnot. So they've been practicing while I'm in basketball. So we are excited about it. We just want the district to do what they said they was going to do, so that we can, because our kids deserve it. So as long as I'm here, I'm gonna fight for our kids to have what they deserve.
I'm Raymond Cooper. I'm an athletic director here, basketball coach. I grew up not liking meals. They would beat us a lot. And I went to Silver Hills High School. I went to Harris Elementary. My wife is from McAllen. So I'm deeply rooted here. I taught in North Pulaski before it became Jacksonville. So I came here. And so I've been around the district a long time. And like I said, this is the most, as a teacher and an educator, that we've been involved in the process. And it's the most transparent that it has ever been. And so I'm just hoping, I'm believing that everything's gonna work out perfectly. And that's, and so far, I appreciate Mr. Johnson, appreciate Dr. McNulty, and Brad's they've been wonderful to work with, and everything they've done, they've delivered. And so I really appreciate you guys. And so our kids deserve this. And we came here, we painted locker rooms. we because we didn't believe, I grew up, if you don't have it, you find a way. But our kids deserve to have the things that they need to be successful and not have to fight from being 10 yards behind. And so, like I said, again, I appreciate everything and everybody and through this process. And when we get it there, we're gonna make everybody proud.
The one thing he didn't really kind of talk about while he was talking about.
Dixon Road Dynasty.
Well, not liking meals.
When y'all rock the bus.
Well, Cooper was a quarterback at Great Silver Hills.
What year?
All of them.
Okay, 7 years.
All of them. So just watch this. I was a nose guard chasing him the whole time. So me and Cooper go back a long way. So let me yield for a second and acknowledge Dr. McNulty.
First off I think I want to share one thing. This struck me, and I know that Mr. Johnson's continued to inform me as I've been here. I've never, I'm not from a place when you ask whether or not you're going to build lights. I've never been in a place where that's a question. Okay, I hear you, but I'm just telling you my experiences, right? And so when we go into projects, and Mr. Johnson's done an excellent job of leading the way, we talk about what's best for our children, and then how can we be economically viable to support the community. And the appeal to the arena for me is not just a great place to continue to win championships, but it's an opportunity to have multiple nice basketball courts to attract, because of the location here, tournaments. This is an amazing location, and I can tell you 10 years from now, this will be an economic hub of the area. You can see it. And I'm coming from outside, so I've been in places where you didn't see anything, and then all of a sudden it grew because of the location of the venues. I also want to share with you, the pandemic hit us in so many ways, but it hit historically fragile communities harder. And by fragile is communities that don't get the economic or the educational needs delivered to these communities. But our leaders, and it's all about leaders, and we're blessed with Ms. Clayton, but I'm going to talk about the other leaders in this community. Ms. Evans down at College Station, Ms. Johnson, okay, Ms. Christian at Daisy Bates, by the way, just won an award today, top 5% growth in ELA in the state. But what I'm talking about that is 44% of our schools, Harris, College Station, Daisy Bates, okay? Mills Middle School, were given an award by the state on schools on the move. Only 10% of schools were recognized across the state, and 44% of our schools were part of that. So we're doing the right work, and we're gonna, I mean, Mills University Studies High School in 3 years, I will tell you, will be at minimum a B school, but will be an A school with facilities that are A facilities. This is, I mean, I'm coming from Iowa, last place, so I am blessed that I'm not in a parka right now and having to deal through snow, but I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a state-of-the-art building that you deserve in the first place. So I just want to thank you for being here today, and the other last piece is, I think what we heard, I never heard it before, is the notion of value engineering, where they scale down a project, and what Mr. Johnson has done, and I also sadly was familiar with this, called bringing in project managers. So you buy the project, and their job is to get it done, and they'll get it done no matter what. There's no scaling back. It's just, this is the purchase, you know, and they'll do what they need to do, and if they get some cost overruns, it's on them, it's not on us.
And we call that term GMP, guaranteed maximum price of what it's gonna cost to build. Once we do that portion of it, there's no value in there, there's none of the rest of that. Once they tell me, based on this process we finished, and we say this is a plan, we present that to them for the pricing. We work through the pricing issues to get it within budget. Once we lock that in, that's our price.
Yeah, we're gonna still work hard to get that budget down, but let me tell you, but once it's locked in, it's locked in.
It's locked in.
And that's the difference between this process and the last process. Not only has Mr. Johnson run a nice, transparent process, and the district has supported that, and we've got Mr. Clayton and his team and teachers going to get the best spaces, because let's be honest too, the pandemic changed how we teach. You know, it's a big, we like now flow. We like to be able to branch out and break out. So it's a great opportunity for us, but there's guarantees to this process now that the federal court's also going to serve to ensure. So I want to thank everybody for coming, and I appreciate also the passion that you come to the table. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson, we're not in church, so I don't want to say that I'm speaking behind the preacher, but it is very important for you all to ask specific questions, because Coach Flowers asked whether or not there are going to be certain things on that softball field. Very important, because the question was not asked that when this building was built, that there would only be water fountains on one end of the hallway and not on the other. So it's very important that you do ask questions about what's gonna take place in the building. And I see you all down there shaking your head. You all know that
can I give you something?
Okay, give me something on that.
Right, so every tour that you made, every note that you gave to us as an administration, whether it's a janitor's closet, whether it's a water fountain.
Oh, y'all gonna put something down there now?
So let me explain to you.
Okay.
We took those notes, and Brad, as the architect, could tell me to be the first one to tell you, we need to be inclusive of these items that were brought up by the individuals.
Okay. Oh, so my
we
question is, will there be water fountains down here on this end of the hall? They're on the so that's on the they're on the west side.
So as it relates to new construction, you'll have water fountains.
Well, but I'm just saying, in this building now, there's only water fountains on one end of the building. So it's very important that you all ask for specific things like that. Students on both sides of the building need water fountains.
We're already addressing that issue.
All right, so all I'm saying is, because when he asked the question about whether or not certain things are going to be on that softball field, very important, because those sort of things be left out because we're cutting costs. We don't want to spend the money. And thank you, young lady, for talking about the money, what happened to it. So people need to be aware of that. So
those items we're addressing.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to be sure that, since we are open and transparent here, people need to know. You all need to know about these things.
Well, let me give you a little bit more to that, just so that you understand. We've got 6 projects going at the same time.
You always have a lot going on.
Yeah, but we're hearing those repetitive things, so that transcends to the design phases. We've got to make sure this is here. We've got to make sure that this is inclusive. So we're doing that piece just based, for example, Maumelle, lights and bleachers. Lights and bleachers. We got lights and bleachers. So we're trying to make sure it's all inclusive.
Well, that,
Ms.
What
Taylor?
is the projected date for this to be completed?
So here's how differs a little bit, because we're having to interface with the federal court. And it's not like we can say, okay, well, we're gonna do this at this time frame, this at this time frame, this at this time frame. These young folks have to interface with the federal court. Somebody might not like something, a brief may get filed. I can't move forward until the judge says you can move forward.
well, no, that's not necessarily.
Well, I'm just,
So
we're respectful of the court, let me just say that.
The court wants you all to move forward with doing what you say you're gonna do. And he's not putting any limitations on you all. Only thing you have to do is give reports to him about what's taking place. So if you do here's the deal, if they do what they are doing, there won't be any objections about what's taking place. If they do what they promised to do, there won't be any objections by the interveners. So that will not stall the process. It can move along. So you all should know that. It's not about checking with the court and let the court decide. It's about the district doing what it promises it's gonna do. And if they do what they say they're gonna do, there won't be any objections and the process will move along without any delay or anything of that nature.
Well, let me ask it this way, Joy. When is our next projected meeting? I know the colonel's gonna get together, everybody, so when is the next meeting? You all send it out, we'll know.
We'll send that out, so.
So I know the courts are involved, but I'm just saying, when is the next?
Yeah, so this is how this runs, Ms. Taylor.
Okay, please.
So this information that we're taking back, it's not something we can basically put pen to paper tomorrow and have it ready for Friday, right?
Yes, sir.
So it takes the architect's time to sit at the table along with us, along with Coach Cooper and the ROTC platform to work through those minute details of what's needed. When they get done and we come back, I'm optimistic that that's the final meeting that we should have.
Yes, sir.
As far as saying, guys, here's what we've come up with, as far as the overall design, here's what that cost looks like, we're in budget, this is what we're planning to move forward with. If there's any objections or any questions at that time frame, we'll do those pieces. Now, from a scheduling standpoint, once we go through, and one of the reasons that I don't give people exact timeframes until I get ADE approval for the project, is that once I get ADE approval, which means that all the other agencies, whether it's health department, ADEQ, or any of those other state organizations that have to approve those plans, that we go through this process. Once I get all of that from ADE and they say, you have a green light, then we authorize the construction management firm, let's put it out to bid, the prices come back. Once the prices come back, it goes before the board. Board approves it or denies it, but if the board approves it, I'm trying to move dirt the next following day.
So
then I can give you a construction time frame of where we start and where we should end at.
So with the holiday, spring of the year, we should probably see something then. What's the time frame of the whole building? A couple months, 6 months, 8 months?
When you say
To
build the building?
2 years.
I mean, you gotta take consideration what we're building. Oh, absolutely, Ms. Taylor. Yes, ma'am. But typical construction on projects like this, anywhere from 20 months to 36 months from start to finish.
So, I do have
Yes, ma'am, Ms.
a question about the facilities, the gym, the baseball, and the softball field. So, I know that the gym is gonna be now 2 stories.
Yes, ma'am.
How is the handicap accessibility? Because we witnessed once before, the young man was here to watch a game, and I know the space here is so small that, you know, it don't take much to fill up the gym. And the seating for someone who's in a wheelchair is not, you know, it's not conducive to a good view or a good time. Are we gonna have something available for our patrons that want to come and view a game and be able to be comfortable?
I'll answer the first part. I'll let you have the technical part of it.
I'll just walk out.
Your standard seat is 22 inches. I can't sit at 21 inches, 22 inches. I can't. So my task at the very outset of this was, let's look out for those folks who are non-traditional people, especially ADA. Okay. We know some of the headaches here. We're gonna fix that. And that seating will be really nice seating for them.
I think the code is the code. I mean, even if you wanted to, you gotta do it. It's new construction.
I'll take this
I would definitely be here, but because of the restriction, it's kind of hard.
It's crazy.
Will the community be able to use the track, or even the teachers will go be able to use the track if it will be open on the weekends and things?
Let's say, we got people walk every day here, from the neighborhood and community.
They're walking by 7:15.
Yeah, I was just saying that, I was about to say that.
And it's quite honestly been fun to watch folks enjoy the platform to be able to utilize it. So much so.